Yes, paid protests. That's right. Paid protests, they're real. Yes, they are real. And a Beverly Hills firm that hires them stands accused of extortion and a lawsuit. Well, of course. Because they hire their protesters. They hire their protesters, yes. And one way you can tell when you have a hired protest, when George Soros and company's involved, look at the vest. Oh, but look, all the protesters have on. See, this is planned, organized, and this is a red flag. This is put in your face. See, if it was a real protest where people in the community got pissed off and outraged and hit the streets to protest, they wouldn't all be wearing a same colored. It's so in your face. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is so in your face. But anyhow, that's where I started with this, and now I'm going to go over to somebody that I actually like them. I mean, I think they do some good work, but at the same time, I also understand they're plants, they're shields. Matter of fact, they used to work for Alex Jones. Yeah, and who's Alex Jones work for? Oh, that's right, Turner, Time Warner. That's right, who has Alex Jones? CIA. That's right, he's part of the corruption. It's always been a psyop in your face. It's always, okay? But most people are asleep to that. Well, not all. I mean, we got more and more that spoke up to Alex Jones, but the reality is the reality, so we're over here. Copyright disclaimer. I think I'll use their very own copyright disclaimer because it is true. For fair use, right here. That's right, which is permitted by copyright statutes. That's what this is. This is fair use. For educational purposes, okay? That's what this video is. Yes, I started it off with this article here because I wanted you to see that, yes, protesters are paid. Now, I'm not going to play a lot of what they've got here, but this is one of Truthstream Media, or Truthstream Media. That's right, Truthstream Media. One of their newest videos that was posted up, 26 yesterday, the day's the 27th. Went up in the middle of the night. But just the same, I want to show you something they say here. See, they don't take long because they have such big subscriber list, 417,000 people. Well, of course they do. Okay? So, of course, they got 27,000 views in just a matter of a few hours. But let's go on here because I don't know how many you're going to pick up on this. But I want you to pay attention and listen. And I'm going to point out some things right here. But I'm only playing a little bit of this, okay?
Running smack dab in the middle of these riots and protests of the Gilets Jaunes in Paris that have been ongoing for well over a month.
Okay, we'll go back to the beginning. Freemasons, yes sirree, Freemasons, Masons.
So we just happened to be in Paris, France. We were looking for some historical sites.
Yep, you just happen to be in Paris, France. You just happen to live in the United States. But you just happen to be in Paris, France. You just happen to be all over the United States and all over the world. And I'm not against these people. I think this couple does a very good job of putting out a lot of truth. But it's not the truth that bothers me. It's the stuff that they don't tell you when they put it in your face because they are part of the problem, okay? And what is it for? The tool. But let's just think about something first off. First and foremost, they went all over this country to make a documentary, which, by the way, I purchased on Amazon. That's right, I purchased it from them on Amazon before they flew it up on YouTube for free. Okay, so they got a little bit of my money. I don't care. I felt they earned it. Okay, so they earned it, and that's what I felt. I'm not against these two people whatsoever. I think they do a really good job of showing truth. So that's the reason I'm doing this video isn't so much about criticism, but it is about reality and truth. So the question would be to the majority of the people out here, the majority of us people, how many of you could just take off from your job and travel all over the United States and make a documentary and still have a home to come back to? Come on. Unless you're wealthy, unless you've got lots and lots and lots of money or you have somebody financing you, how many of you could do that? How many of you would have the money to travel all over the place and film a documentary? We already know the answer to that, don't we? Yeah. And they just happen to be in Paris, France. Yep. So they just happen to be traveling again, to another country now. And we never give any thought to the fact that we just traveled to another country, how much it cost to do that, to the airline there and back, and how much it cost you to have to pay for a place to stay and to feed yourself, and on with the expenses and the expenses and the expenses and the expenses and the expenses. Nobody ever thinks about that, do you? You don't have no questions to how are they financing what they're doing, do you? None of you think about that, huh? Were they born with a silver spoon in their mouth? Do you suppose? Or do you suppose they get paid the tool to do what they're doing and that's why their channel's never removed? Do you suppose they're plants, they're shields, and this is where they're making their money? By doing what they're doing from the establishment, from the powers to be, working with the powers to be, the people, the corruption, the people we're fighting against, working with them, for them, and that's where they're getting their money to do what they're doing. But let's go on.
Having to do with our upcoming documentary, and we ended up running smack dab in the middle of these riots and protests of the Gilets Jaunes in Paris that have been ongoing for well over a month.
I'm not even going to point it out to you yet. You should be seeing it in your face.
I've never been to Paris before. This was the first time I had ever been there. The first full day of being there. And we heard that the subways were closed and all the major tourist attractions were closed and everybody was warning us away from the city center. So we thought, well, we'll rent some of those little scooters that they have on the street corners that you can just pick up and drop off wherever you want. And we'll just go around everything to get the locations we needed to film. And so that didn't end up happening. What ended up happening was we rode straight into a riot/protest on a scooter.
We rode straight into a riot/protest.
For vacation or for work?
Yeah, we had heard that they were closing down, all the major tourist sites from the Eiffel Tower to the Palace of Versailles. But we weren't really going to those places, so we thought we would have a chance to sort of go around everything, but instead we just got caught up in the middle of it, really.
Hey, you know what I liked about this? I'm going to back it up just a hair. I want you to look at something. I'm going to point this out to you. I don't know how many of you are going to notice this. Green fender. Green fenders. Green, right? I know that may not seem a lot to you.
Pay
attention.
All the major tourist sites from the Eiffel Tower to the Palace of Versailles. But we weren't really going to those places, so we thought we would have a chance to sort of go around it.
What do you see? Green. We're going green.
Everything, but instead we just got caught up in the middle of it, really.
It was
Yeah, we just accidentally came here and got caught up in the middle of it by accident, you know.
It's the weirdest thing. It was like riding up on a movie set because
There she said it. This is what I was after. It was like riding up on a movie set. Right. It was like a show. It was like a script. It was like an act. It was like a movie set. That's what I was after. I don't need to go any further. Okay, all I gotta do is just fast forward. I'm not gonna say anymore. I'm gonna play anymore anyhow. Outside of right here, and I'm gonna pause it. Okay, this is not about playing their video for you. You can see that on your own. Okay, this is about the truth that's in your face that you're not paying attention to. You know, they went around the country, they filmed a documentary, they went around the world. And common sense tells you right off the bat that would take a lot of money. Lots and lots and lots of money. Okay? On top of the fact that you still have a home back in the U.S. that you go back to, that the utilities are still on and not shut off, and you're not behind on your mortgage, or maybe you don't have a mortgage. Maybe you're lucky enough to own it, right? Okay, but you still have property back in the U.S. that you got to be able to take care of. And you're traveling all over the place, and we already know what that would cost. Okay, gas if you're driving from city to city, state to state, town to town to do documentary. Motel costs, food costs, laundry along the way, whatever. I mean, maybe you did your laundry at the motels, but it doesn't matter. It would still cost, wouldn't it? It sure would. And then we just happened to land in Paris. We just happened to have the money to get on a plane and go to Paris. But my favorite part was when she said it was like riding up on a movie set. Because she literally told you. She told you it was fraudulent. She told you it was an act. Yeah, she didn't come right out and say, oh, look, if they're doing a freaking Hollywood movie of a protest. She didn't have to. She told you it. If you're asleep, you didn't pick up on it. Right? If you wouldn't want to believe they would be part of the establishment, you wouldn't pick up on it. Let's go back and listen to her again. Okay?
walking down the street. Everybody's turning the lights off. People are in here freaking out. There's people in here that work here. They turned all the lights off. Yeah, it's an interesting way to come see Paris. It's a really weird thing for a Saturday afternoon to arrive in a huge city like Paris and have everything be like a ghost town, and you just have hundreds of people in yellow vests hanging out on street corners and marching around.
Okay, yellow. It looks green to me. The scooter seems to match it. She calls it yellow. Maybe it's a yellowish green. Okay.
It was totally surreal, and we were just out of place.
I don't know if they were really out of place. I mean, after all, they managed to go rent a couple of scooters that they showed you with the same colors. They sure did.
I think by closing down all the businesses like that, because I've never seen them do that for protests or anything here in America. They'll put up barricades and stuff, guardrails, but they don't usually shut down everything. We don't have any kind of face protection, dude.
You know that.
Okay, maybe I went back far enough. I don't know. So I'm just going to stop it. But you heard her. And if you want, you can go back and play this video back, or you can go to her channel and listen to the video from the beginning. And I liked it when she said was like riding up on a Hollywood set. Yeah. This was her telling you it's a show, and of course it's a show. Of course it's a what? Of course it's a paid protesters. Of course they're paid. What do you think George Soros does? What do you think the elite use George Soros for? All over the world. Don't say it's not paid protests. Don't lie to me. And if you're too dumb to see when it's in your face, then that's not my spot. That's not my stupidity. See, ignorance and stupidity does kill. I mean, sorry, but ignorance is blitz. Okay? So, but the truth is, it's right in your face. It's not an accidenter that all these protesters are wearing what? That don't happen if it was a real protest. No! If it was a real protest, this wouldn't be happening. You wouldn't see everybody wearing the same. No, not at all. It's no different if we back up to when she shows you we rented the little scooter. Which I believe is in this thing here.
That you can just pick up and drop off wherever you want. And we'll just go around everything to get the locations we needed to film. And so that didn't end up happening. What ended up happening was we rode straight into a riot/protest on a scooter.
Right, we rode straight into a riot/protest.
Yeah, we had heard that they...
With the same colors as what people were wearing. See, this is the reason I backed up. I wanted you to see. With the exact same colors even. No? Doesn't that appear to match? Yeah, I mean, they sort of do match each other, whether this is yellow or yellowish green. Yeah, they sort of do, don't they? Yeah. So I guess my point to what I'm doing right here is simple. It's in your face. This is financed and paid. These people are making money. They're getting paid the tool to do a fake, a fraudulent. It was like walking into a Hollywood studio. Her own words.
Scooters that they have on the street corners that you can just pick up and drop off wherever you want. And we'll just go around everything to get the locations we needed to film. And so that didn't end up happening. What ended up happening was we rode straight into a riot/protest on a scooter.
On vacation or for work?
Yeah, we had heard that they were closing down, all the major tourist sites from the Eiffel Tower to the Palace of Versailles. But we weren't really going to those places, so we thought we would have a chance to sort of go around everything. But instead, we just got caught up in the middle of it, really.
It was the weirdest thing. It was like riding up on a movie set because...
Yes, it was like riding up on a movie set. That's the real reason I done this video. Is because it's in your face. It couldn't be more blatant in your face if you tried. It's so blatantly in your face. See, this protest is a different color. But you notice anything in common here? Every one of these protesters in this picture are wearing what? Do you see anything in common there? Okay. You should. It's right in your face. And then we left the United States and we went to Paris, and what did we see? What did I show you? What do you see? Outside of an empty street there, what do you see? Another paid protest where everybody's wearing what? There you go. And even the scooters they rented just happens to match the colors. That's right. The colors. It's so in your face. It couldn't be more blatantly in your face if we tried. So, even though I don't know these two people personally, I like their work, I do understand and know that they are working most likely for the people we're fighting against. Do you think it was an accident that these two people used to work for Alex Jones? No. That type of stuff's not an accident. You don't just accidentally go to work for Alex Jones and then sign a piece of paper, an agreement, that you can never blah, 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 they're going to use this. This is what corruption does. You'll sign this piece of paper swearing that you will keep your mouth shut for the rest of your life, or you will be punishable by prison and fines. That's right. We will use scare tactics of major fines and prison if you open your mouth and don't keep the secret. It's sort of like what the Masons do, right? The Masons. Them people you think that are good people, the Masons, who brag about their secrets, their secrecy. And the majority of the Masons don't even know what the secrets are because they're not in the club. No! They're down here to make the Masons look like good. This is how you disguise evil. That's right, that's how you disguise evil. That's how the Masons have successfully disguised the evil doings that they're actually behind. By all the people that are Masons that do good for society and don't do evil. That's their blanket. It's the people at the top of the Masons. And it's the George Soroses, the Alex Jones. That's right. And the list of people go on and on and on, But my point with this video here is they posted this up was they literally told you. She sure did. She told you. And I'll bet you most of you didn't even pick up on it. It was like riding up upon a set, a studio, a set, a show, a movie, a show. It's not even a real protest. No! Oh, well, but they shut this and this and this down. Well, yeah. But of course it's not no real protest. It's all fraudulent. It's fake. These people are making money. And they're making a mockery of the people of this world, the public. Because, see, a real protest, people really got mad in their city, their town, and they hit the streets protesting. They're not only not being paid, they're not all going to show up in uniform. Nobody's going to spend mega money buying vests for thousands of people or hundreds and hundreds of people to wear. We're not going to be uniform. We're not going to be unique with our colors. We're going to come to our protest with what we got on, what we're wearing that day. We sure are. We're not going to be going running scooters that match the colors. I just wanted you to see how fraudulent this protest is. Okay? And I wanted you to hear her tell you what it was. Because she spoke the real truth right there. She didn't say it directly, but she did say it directly. Do you see how you got to be able to pick up on the words? That they always tell you, see, these two are working for the establishment. If they didn't accidentally work for Alex Jones. I don't think they were born into wealth, but I'm sure they have a lot of wealth by working for the establishment, for the corruption, working for evil, and telling 70% of truth, manipulating you for their own gain, for their own interest. I appreciate the truth they spill, but I don't appreciate the fact that instead of really standing against the establishment, powers to be, They're pretending to stand against them while they're working for them. And you can take that to the bank. That's exactly what's going on here. It's sad, but this is how we get taken down. This is how come we're losing. Because people like this, that could be good people, that should be fighting against these people, are taking their money, their tool, and working for them, and pretending to fight against them for their own selfishness, for their own best interest. And meanwhile, they're getting to be stars too, huh? They get to be popular and famous and become stars in their own right? For helping to destroy your life, to take your freedoms and your rights and your life away from you. But they don't care because, see, right now it's not affecting them. Because they're getting to go all around the world and travel and do this and do that and have all of this money, all of this tool, all this tool. But one day, when the establishment's through using them, they'll throw them away and they will become like you and me. They sure will. But they might know too much, so we may have to throw them away like throwing behind bars. Set them up. Or maybe they'll have an accident and they'll be dead of a tragic accident. Or maybe they'll become suicidal like a few people we know, I don't know, David Carradine, right? Oh, did I say? Yeah, I did say David Carradine, didn't I? No, he didn't suicide himself. Chris Benoit. No, he didn't suicide himself and kill his family. No. Didn't happen. These are people that knew stuff they wasn't supposed to know. That could have opened their mouth and told the public, and they had enough followers, enough people liked them, that some people listened. They didn't want to take that chance, so they had to remove them from the picture. And one day, that could be these two faith themselves, as they're removed from the picture. Right now, they're enjoying their tool, and they're vacationing around the world, and doing their documentary and telling 70-75% truth. They're enjoying themselves doing this to you. But at least she did tell you one thing that was correct here. It was like stumbling upon a set, a movie studio, set, a movie, a show. Because that's exactly what this is a show. Fraudulent, fake. It's BS. And they're all making money to scam the public of this world. Sick, isn't it?